Valerie Ferris and Jonathan Dayton's Little Miss Sunshine presents the Hoover family dysfunctional dynamics as a vivid illustration of Maureen Bowen's family systems theory, which views the family not as a collection of individuals, but as an emotional unit shaped by patterns of anxiety. Through its road trip structure, the film reveals how dysfunction arises not from isolated flaws, but from the family's shared emotional system. More importantly, though, Little Miss Sunshine shows that dysfunction is not bad because growth can occur when the system is forced to adapt. Careful, spoilers ahead. For Bowen, a dysfunctional family is not simply a family with conflict or trauma, but dysfunction arises when the family cannot manage emotional anxiety in a healthy way. The emotions of the family members become fused, absorbing one another's anxieties rather than each managing their own. A dysfunctional family is therefore not a broken family. The emotions are simply mismanaged by the system. The Hoovers exemplify this dynamic from the outset, not because they lack love, even loving families can be dysfunctional, but because they struggle to manage their chronic anxiety. Each family member absorbs and expresses this anxiety differently, creating emotional reactivity rather than thoughtful connection. Richard's obsession with success, Frank's depression, Cheryl's exhaustion, and Dwayne's silent rage do not exist in isolation. They circulate through the family. The systemic tension escalates within the confined space of the yellow van. Moments of crisis expose how quickly individual stress becomes collective turmoil. Cinematically, this fusion is reinforced through tight compositions and prolonged interior shots, visually trapping the characters together in their unresolved emotional patterns. Central to Bowen's theory is the concept of differentiation of self, the ability to maintain our identity while remaining emotionally connected to our family. But in dysfunctional families, people either become emotionally fused, over-involved, reactive, or they engage in emotional cutoff, withdrawn, silence, distance. Richard's rigid obsession with success shows his inability to separate self-worth from external achievement, making him highly reactive when his worldview is challenged. Frank's depression similarly emerges as an expression of accumulated familial anxiety and a symptom of unresolved emotional pressure, intensified by comparison, rejection, and failure. Dwayne's vow of silence appears to assert individuality, but from a Bowenian perspective, it functions as emotional cutoff, a defense against overwhelming family anxiety rather than genuine differentiation. When he discovers he cannot become a pilot, his breakdown reveals how deeply entangled his identity is with the family's emotional climate. However, the family's response, imperfect and yet supportive, marks a subtle shift toward healthier differentiation, where emotion is shared rather than suppressed, creating connection instead of thoughtless reactivity. Bowen's concept of triangulation is especially visible in Olive's role within the family. For Bowen, when tension between two people becomes uncomfortable, a third person is pulled in to stabilize the relationship. While the family is loving and supportive of Olive, she's also unconsciously positioned as an emotional stabilizer. The family's shared focus on getting her to the pageant temporarily unites them and reduces tension between adults, but it places emotional weight on the child. Her success or failure becomes responsible for the family's entire emotional balance. In a lovely twist, though, the film's climax signals a reorganization of the family system. When the family joins Olive on stage, rather than allowing shame to isolate her, they refuse to sacrifice her to fit into social expectations and manage social anxiety. Instead, they share the emotional risk together. The camera mirrors the shift, abandoning individual reaction shots for group movement, emphasizing the family as a united emotional field. Bowen did not define healthy families as conflict-free, but as adaptive systems, learning to stay emotionally connected without being controlled by the family's anxiety. By the film's conclusion, the Hoover family shows modest movement toward this healthier functioning. From a Bowenian perspective, Little Miss Sunshine suggests that dysfunction is not a permanent condition, but a pattern. The Hoovers remain imperfect, but by recognizing, even if only intuitively, the emotional interconnectedness, they begin to manage anxiety through solidarity rather than avoidance. In doing so, the film affirms Bowen's central insight. Families heal not by fixing individuals, but by transforming together the emotional system they share. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to keep track of other videos. Don't hesitate to leave a comment or to contact me if you want to know more. See you next time!